Oh, we're back for more excitement.
Yeah.
Here to talk about knocking your credit score out the park. And bear with me right now as I just get some of these links together to paste up on my um, pages so people can follow because, people get upset. I don't want no problems. I want no trouble from the audience.
Trouble. No trouble.
I don't even want to even click this because it's going to make all kind of noise. But I don't have a choice. So anyway, my name is Brian Bacchus. Call me Busy Bee, Style Click Media, Brian Bacchus Brands, and I have on the show today Ricky Wattis, formerly with KGLH, DJ extraordinaire. He does a DJ show every Saturday night. Starts at 8 p.m. on his page and
Facebook.
It never, on Facebook, but it never gets cut off. Knock on wood. Every time I watch, he's going for 3 or 4 hours. So I don't even know what to tell you when it comes to certain stuff. But hey, I'm just here to get some things started.
Yes.
We're going to do this credit show every week. It's going to entail talking to people about how to fix their credit. So this week, Rick is on, and he's going to be asking questions. I'm kind of, I'm running the whole show here, so it's kind of like I'm trying to. I'm posting shit and doing all kinds of extras, and I don't even give a damn. It's looking raggedy right now, but whatever. But yeah, I can't go over there and do nothing over there. Anyway, Rick, I just sent you the link to your messenger.
All right. My phone just let it charge real quick, and
no, that's fine. Anytime. If I can find you, and all of a sudden you can't be found. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about that.
Let me turn this ringer off. I don't even want to hear this.
Yeah, we don't want no problems with the phone ringing. Mine's on silent already. I'm just going to get distracted by the notifications that keep popping up.
All right, we get it.
Okay, so I just emailed that to you, or not emailed, whatever the hell we use here. Messenger. So we're going to talk about personal credit, business credit, and how to not commingle the two. We're not going to talk about everything today. However, we are going to basically, in fact, let's put up one of these. So in case you want to follow along and get some tips, I just put the website up at the bottom, ticking across the bottom. Beautiful. This way you can go and get the links of the information that we're going to be talking about, so you won't be left behind in the dust as you go on your credit building journey. So Rick is on the show to pick my brain. He's going to be asking me all kind of weird ass questions. Exactly. And I'm going to be giving him some bullshit answers. Not really.
Foolish questions with good answers. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's it. BS with some BM. Anyway, hopefully everything is going as planned. Let's see here and look. Let's click view on Facebook and see if it's actually picturing us rolling.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like it's doing something. We got like
BrianBacchus.com/business credit.
So on that page, you're going to get pretty much mostly business stuff. I don't focus really on talking about personal. That's what this show is for right here. We're going to talk about personal on this show because the business tips that I give you for business are strictly for that, because I'm in the process of building 3 corporations right now companies that have hired me to start their corporations and do everything right. So there's a guide that I'm going to talk about later, and I'll pull that up and have it on standby.
Business-wise, going to your website, they can get that information.
Pretty much. Just go to the business credit section on the link, and it'll tell you a lot of good stuff,
Okay.
So check that out. But let's see here. Looks like we actually have some people on here. Oh, watch out. Thank you for coming on the show, Shelly. We see you over there.
Shelly.
Popping you up on the screen there. Oh, and Alton, I can't forget you. We be bagging on a whole bunch of people out there in your country. It's not even country. Your state. But basically, I'm gonna let Rick just go, and I'll do the best I can to answer his questions.
Yes. Okay, first question, Brown, I got for you. What's considered a good credit score? Living day to day, how can I walk around with my head up, feeling that I got a decent, not to go, I can help, hold my head up and say, hey, I got a pretty good credit score to the masses right now. What's a good credit score?
Well, a bank tells you that a good credit score to buy a house is 640. That's a minimum that they'll let you buy a house with. Now, to me, a decent credit score is anything between 680 and 720.
Okay.
I don't believe in people fighting to go get 850 credit scores, 800 credit scores, because the real difference between a 750 and 850 credit score is probably 1% in interest rate. It's not really too much of a difference. Now, there is a difference between 750 and 850 if you want to put no money down.
Gotcha.
But there's no difference when you want to go buy a, say, mixed-use property, because, they only require you to put down 3.5% on the mixed use. Not only that, but say the mixed-use property is 2 storefronts at the bottom and maybe 3 apartments at the top.
Right.
They'll actually give you money on your loan so that you'll be able to take that to refurbish or rehab the property. But that's a whole different subject right there. But the minimum score for banks to give you a loan for a house is 640. But then there's a lot of other factors that go into play, but we'll talk about that later.
But you said on the normal, say for instance, a person with, say, a 740 is probably living the same life as a person with an 840, huh? Like, you know what I mean? It's that person at a 756 shouldn't be fighting to get to that 8, because you're kind of already in the same playground at that point, you're saying, huh?
Well, you got to remember how credit works. There's probably 6 different factors to it. There's your payment history. There's how many credit cards have you had in the long term versus new. There's your credit utilization. Credit payment and credit utilization are really the 2 top ones, because you don't really want to use credit that has been given to you, but you don't want to keep it at 0, because then it looks like you're stacking credit cards without using them. And we talked about this earlier about the accounts and how to, leverage those by actually using them. Not the credit cards, but your bank account.
Okay.
But with that being said, it's like, why would I really worry about a credit score when every different company has a different way of looking at you? For instance, some people might not care if your score is probably 600, but if you made your payments on time, they want you because they know you're going to make this payment on time.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have some people like Bank of America that you could have a sales. The credit score is cool, but the down payment and your monthly income is what really matters to them. Because if you can't afford to pay for that $1 million house, and that mortgage is at least $5,000 to $8,000 a month, and you make $4,000, you are already gonna go into foreclosure. So the thing is, when your credit score is low, they want you to put down 20%, because they feel that if you're putting down 20%, you're not gonna really walk away from the house, because you're walking away from money you just gave them. You put no money down, and you could have a bad streak. And next thing you know, you walking away from the property. That's what happened
yeah.
in 2006 when the market crashed.
Right.
8. Las Vegas was the most highest foreclosure rate in the United States, and condos that were 265,000 dropped all the way down to 40,000. Now, let me tell you how your credit should be to leverage these types of things, because we're going to have another credit bubble for the housing soon, like probably next couple of years.
Right.
So it's best to utilize your credit to be able to stack it so that if you need to buy that property, guess what? If you got a 750, 800 score and we in a recession like that, they're going to want everything. Not stated income, documents, this, that, and the other. But guess what? If you have 40,000 cash to buy a $265,000 home,
right,
that's what it was, or it got dropped down to that price, or that's what it sold at on the auction steps of the courthouse.
Right.
Now you're winning, because guess what's going to happen? You own the property, so you got $40,000 in equity right then and there because you already put it in.
Yeah.
Second, that house has nowhere else to go but up.
True.
So in about 4 years, you might be back to 160. Now you got it's worth 4 times what you paid.
Gotcha.
And that's what people don't understand is they're scared to let go of their money. Now, I would put $40,000 into a property that cost that was worth more. I'm not going to put $400,000 onto a house in California cash.
Right.
But, there are a lot of entities, I can't even name them, but we know who those people are, that have cash, that do that all the time. But that's because they have the cash.
Actually have the cash.
And they're on a whole another level of taxation. So say you made, and there's a lot of cash businesses, ARCO being one of them. Each ARCO is individually owned and operated. In fact, a friend of mine told me years ago, and it might be more now, that you needed to have $2 million in property and $1.5 million in liquid in order to qualify to even get an ARCO.
Okay.
So since they're a cash business, a lot of times that's a lot of cash to pay taxes on. So what they do is they put that cash into property. And then once they show on the taxes, okay, well, this much money went into this much money went into this. Here's the proof, here's the 1098, here's the 1090, whatever. And there you go. So those people have that kind of cash. The average Joe is not going to have that kind of cash. So he's going to want a better score than 640. But 640 is decent.
Gotcha.
680 to 720 is, to me, really good for what you're trying to do. Now, the thing is, a great credit score it's not the number. It's the history of what you have on it. So, for instance, once you buy a house, now you got a $500,000 trade line on your credit that is going to actually drop your score by several points.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why? Because you just tipped the scales to being what's the word I'm looking for? Underneath the payments, underwater, or I forgot what the term is right now. I lost it. But you're $500,000 in the hole. Until you make those first 6 months payments, it's not even going to matter.
Gotcha.
When you first make those first 6 months payments, then your credit score starts climbing back up.
Gotcha.
So when you're ready to make a big ticket item like a car, well, cars aren't even big ticket items anymore because now every bank is giving you 4%, 5%, and then they'll buy the car and you pay them the payments. It alleviates dealing with the dealership. But once you put that big ticket item on there, like a boat or a house or even an RV, those cost up to like $200,000 or more.
Right.
Now you got to realize that you can't go buy anything else. So that's a planned purchase. You can't buy nothing for 6 months. Because according to your budget, if say you're making $10,000 a month, and say your mortgage now is $2,500 a month, well, now you $7,500 only.
Yeah.
So now you got to split that with the bills you were splitting with. Either either your bills are going to get paid and your spending is going to cut back because, no more lavish dinners. We're out of the COVID era now. So, people are starting to go out there and buy dinners and all of that. But
yes.
The whole point is, it's like, you can't just do that. You got to have enough money saved up so that, because buying a house, you better not just have the down payment.
Right.
You need insurance monies. You need, what if there's something happens? I see, when I first bought my first house, I was married and it was 2004.
Okay.
Bought in brand new Santa Clarita. The neighborhood wasn't even built yet. So when the neighborhood got built, and this is the reason why I like these kind of neighborhoods, because everybody moved there at once at the same time.
Right. Gotcha.
So you knew your neighbors. There was no discriminatory, nothing going on. In fact, they were so lackadaisical. It reminded me of Desperate Housewives neighborhood, because people would just be walking in your house. Hey, we just want to know your neighbors, and we just want to show you. We just want to see what your plan look like. There's only 3 plans in this neighborhood.
Right.
If you've seen one, you've seen them all. And each place has the big house, the smaller house, and the smaller house. And I had the smallest of the smallest at 3,000 square feet. And most people say, "Oh, that was big."
Right.
Not compared to the 4,000 one next door, with the extra lean and the extra pool, and
of course.
But when you buy in those neighborhoods, you have to pay homeowners association fee.
Of course.
You got to pay. You don't forget your gardeners and all of that. And see, since the neighborhood was brand new, guess what? It didn't have grass.
So you got to get that.
You got to get the sprinklers put in, and they got to come dig that old desert hardened earth.
Hard dirt.
Yeah, that dirt's hard. But that's going into a whole nother situation.
Right.
So I hope that answered your question about the decent credit score.
No.
But you got to remember too, I got to point this out because I got a few of my friends that are here that are not in California. So 640 credit score someplace else might be dope, like maybe Atlanta or Ohio.
Different.
You might be living large with a 640. Hell, if you had a 750 out there. Now, I'm going to tell you where most of the good scores are. They are in those rural areas because these people don't buy shit.
Right.
They buy nothing. They buy a house and they live in it for 25 years.
Chill. Right.
They buy that same car. They probably already had it. No new cars. They probably use their credit cards just to travel. And that's why they get the travel cards. We're going to get into that in the next week's show about the different cards you should get depending on what you do the most.
Gotcha.
No sense in getting a high interest rate card. A low interest rate card if you're going to pay it off every month. You might as well get the highest interest rate card because that's not your concern.
Gotcha.
But people be like, I don't want that 26%. Yeah, because you look like you the type that carry a balance till like your kid graduated from college and he's a toddler. It's that kind of stuff. Don't carry a balance if you don't need to. Now, this is the rule that I always try to tell people. I showed you my account earlier and how it's balanced. I have this much I owe, but I also have this much that I have that I can pay the thing already.
Gotcha.
My thing is, in order for your credit score to go up without you doing absolutely nothing, it's just to make the minimum payment.
Yes.
If you make the minimum payments, you do that for 6 months, your credit score is going to jump 30 points.
Gotcha.
Without you doing anything, just the minimums. But you shouldn't carry high balances paying only the minimums. Now, I'm carrying a decent size balance because my credit card is giving me a promo offer since I spent a certain amount before 2 months. They gave me 0.01% interest rate on everything for the next 6 months.
Okay.
So, of course, I'm going to pay the minimums on that because I'm only paying what I use.
Right.
Now, the minute they start adding their money on, oh, yeah, here go 3,000. Sorry, I was waiting so long to give it to you.
Had their money on there.
Yeah, because see, here's the thing. People should abolish debit cards. Listen to me. Demolish debit cards. And you want to know why? You're spending your money. You're not getting no credit for it.
Got you.
So here's the thing. If you say you got a $4,000 credit card.
Okay.
Say you get paid $1,500 every 2 weeks. I'm just making a scenario, right?
Yeah.
Say you use that credit card every time. I'm gonna give you you remember the movie Catch Me If You Can?
No.
You don't remember Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks? Remember, dude was cashing checks all over the fucking United States, and Tom Hanks was after him. Well, that's a real story, and the guy who actually the story was written about, he's my mentor. He works for he's been working for the FBI for the past 40 years. This happened years ago. They made the movie like in '98 or something like that. But his name is Frank Abagnale, and he wrote a book called Scam Me If You Can. And it tells you how to tell old people to not get scammed. You got all these different scams going on right now. But his whole thing was never use debit cards, because if your money gets taken off a debit card, it is not coming back for months. But if your credit card gets stolen, you just call the credit card company. They stop the card. They send you a new one. Whatever charges is on there is put back, taken off, and you're good to go.
Problem solved.
Now, this is what he does. He says, I've adopted this myself. Pay every last one of your bills with your credit card. Every last one. Pay your mortgage, pay your car payment, use it at the grocery store. Do not use your debit card. You don't need to. At the end of the month, all that money that you was going to spend on the mortgage and the payments and the groceries, you already have it. So just send it to them. Guess what happens? Every month you paying that card off, they're going to start hitting you up. Exactly. My guy Malik came on and said, my grandfather told me, except for a house, if you can't pay for it cash, you can't afford it. And this is exactly what I'm talking about with these credit cards. Pay all your bills with the credit cards the same way you would have paid them with your money. Right. Except two things are happening here. Number one, it's getting paid on time. Number two, you didn't use none of your money to do it. You're using your money that you get paid with or earned income or whatever to pay the bill. Mm-hmm. And as you use these credit cards every month, they will automatically call you and be like, oh, Mr. Wattis, we've noticed that you're having some issues with paying your card on time, and we see you're doing it actually. So what we're going to do for you is we're going to raise your limit. Now, let me tell you what happens when they raise your limit. They encourage you to go out and use the card more because they want you to get to the point where you got like a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 limit, and then you go on a vacation. And which card you gonna take? You're gonna take the $50,000 card with you. Why? Because in your mind, not thinking, I've been paying these bills on time. Every month I pay it off. I deserve this vacation. Yeah. So you go out and you spend $15,000 taking the family out or whatever. You get back home and you look at that thing when it comes the next month and you see that minimum payment is like $300. Way more than what it was before. More than what it was, yeah. And you're going, okay, so I'm gonna just do the minimums. Well, guess what? When you do the minimums, guess what happens? You'll never, every time you pay $300, there's a $150 interest charge. So you're only paying $150 every time you pay $300. You see that $150 right there that you ain't getting because it ain't never going to go away. Every time you pay the $300, that $150 is there. So you're really paying $150. And you be thinking, I'd send them $300. Yeah. No, you're paying half of the interest and half on the principal. Gotcha. Just like a house. Now, the difference between a house is you can get an interest-only loan, and those are only good for if you're going to live in a house for 3 or 4 years and flip it. Yeah. Because you're never going to own that house. It's just going to keep
it ain't gonna happen.
Being interest. Now, they have those 5-year interest, 1 year arm, right? So after the 5 years, the adjustable rate mortgage kicks in. Now, if you didn't look at your fine print on your mortgage is going to go from 2,000 for for the month of March to 4,000 in April and 6,000 in May, and it's going to be stuck at 6,000, and you're going to be wondering like, how come I didn't refi? Because you blew your credit. And that's another thing. That's a whole nother subject, but I'm gonna touch on it right quick. Just because you bought a house don't mean you gotta let everything else go.
Right.
You gotta keep that credit right, because when you run into a recession, like how the real estate was, you want to be able to go to your broker that you've been knowing or your bank that you've been having a good relationship with and say, I like to refi at this time since you guys are dropping the interest rates. And they'll do it for you because you never stop paying your mortgage. Now, when the crash happened in 2007, what was messed up for a lot of people was, in order for you to get loan reconciliation or modification, you had to stop paying your mortgage for 3 months. You had to ruin your credit to get a loan modification. Just like this situation with this pandemic. There are people that own houses that are renting them out. When they said there's going to be a moratorium on evictions because people can't go to work.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to the people that are the owners?
Right.
I mean, there's assistance for them, for the tenants, but not the owners. You know what the owners have to do? Every 3 months, they got to call all of their mortgage companies and get a forbearance. And it's not hard to get. I mean, it's not easy to get. You know, I've been watching a few people go through it. I mean, you know, there are people ain't paying rent. They own like some duplexes or some fourplexes. And,
yeah.
You know, maybe that's 2,000 a month times 4. That's 8,000. But your mortgage on it was probably 5, so you was making the easy 3.
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't save that easy 3 over the past few years, either you're going to continue to pay your mortgage or you're going to start looking at forbearances. Now, Alton, hey, I saw this pop up, says some cards don't accept payment by credit card. Now, you're absolutely right about that, because I got 2 credit cards that they don't even have a login. You got to have a bill pay set up through your bank account in order for those to get paid. And that's why I always push Navy Federal.
Gotcha.
Because they have all of the features that you need with a free checking account, I might add. And they're like one of the better credit unions. And the reason why I say they're one of the better credit unions, and now everybody's opinion may differ, I'm going by my own experience.
For sure.
When you go to apply for a credit card through them, they keep your same pull for 60 days. Now, the best thing to do with Navy Federal is when you apply for one of their cards, call them and talk to them on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Because 9 times out of 10, it'll get approved quicker.
Right.
That's how they work. So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, with Navy Federal, I called them and I actually got to just open a little secured credit card, $200 just to be active with them. And man, I blinked and it was at 2,000.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why I love
it. Blinked and they gave me
that. That's what back. They do.
Yeah, they gave me my 2 back, and now I had a card with 2,000 credit. I was like, but it happened from 200 to 2,000 quick.
Now you want to see something really funny? Go open up another one with them, except this time put $1,000 on it.
Got you. Same.
Now, actually, with them, now that they've already switched your card over, what you should do now is call them up and say, I'm just, curious about, the different things that you might offer that I might qualify for. Is there any way that, you could, look at my profile and tell me? And they are so happy to help you.
Gotcha.
They were like, no problem. Looks like you qualify. See, here's the thing. When you call them and you talk to them, they look at things different. Because already Navy Federal is already they're their own thing. Because I'm gonna tell you the reason why I love them so much. They have all of the military people that are in their thing. They cover everything: the Navy, Army, Air Force, Marines, blah blah blah. They have over 9 million members, most of them with direct deposit coming into the bank.
Gotcha.
So since the money is sitting there, what do banks do with money? They loan it out to other people.
Gotcha.
It's called fractional banking. So what happens is if you put $100 in the bank, the bank's going to loan 90 of it to somebody. They're hoping that you're not going to spend it, because every month that they loaned out your money, they're making interest on it.
Gotcha.
So imagine the people who put 1 million, 2 million, 10 million in the bank. They're not touching that, but their money is now an asset of the banks. That's why you see these banks. Rock of Gibraltar, we have over 300 billion in assets. You know, because they got 3 billion of your money, 100 billion, trying to say it's theirs. That's like, Rick, you gave me $100. I have $100 now. But I owe Rick 100. I ain't telling you that though. Yeah, that's what banks do. They don't say we also are in debt by 1,000 billion.
Gotcha. Oh no.
Which is a trillion, or you like to say those weird numbers. Thanks, Malik. I'm just trying to have fun and teach some people some stuff at the same time because of the experiences that I've gone through. And my whole thing is each one teach one, because nobody showed me shit.
Right.
I had to go out and figure it out. So I'll be having like 90 browser windows open, going, okay, so it's this over here, so add this, carry the 1 minus 2. That's the formula. Now let's go try it. Go over here, try this out. Oh, damn, that shit did work. Okay, let's tell somebody else to do it just to make sure. Oh, it worked for them too? Okay, now I'm a guru. 2 people. No, but I've been helping people over the years. I started doing this back in 2016. Now, I told you about the opt-out, right? Remember how I told you about public records?
Okay.
And public records, if you don't know what they do to your credit, and you don't know nothing about credit, because public records don't belong on your credit. But the credit bureaus comb the internet to look for shit that matches your name, your birth date, your social security number, and your address.
Right.
That's why you got to go on your credit reports, and I'm gonna tell you what's good for this. Any one of them, Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, Credit Score Total, Discovery, Discover card has one.
Right.
Go on these free sites and look at your credit history. Look at your addresses that are on there. Look at the phone numbers, because a lot of that stuff needs to come off. You don't live there no more. Don't have the phone number to the house you don't live at, because I'm going to tell you, Costco, when they go to give you a card, they text you the information so you can give them a code right there. If you don't have it, or they might call you right there. If you don't have that number, then you ain't getting that card.
Right.
That's how they do it. But a lot of them, the phone number has to be right, or the address. Mm-hmm. I just got finished cleaning off 15 addresses over the life of my credit history, starting from when I was the house I lived at when I was 18. I'm like, why is they still on there?
That's real talk, because it shows some addresses I lived in LA. I was like, I did live there.
Yeah, but you got to take that stuff off, because they'll ask you some stupid question that pertains to that address. I ain't lived on Nordhoff in San Fernando, and I don't know how long. I can't even remember the address.
Right, exactly.
What's the cross street? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, shit. But that can add points to your credit report by taking those things off. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about is this. I'm going to pull this up. I don't know what devices people may be on, but you might not be able to see it, or you might be able to see it. I don't know. But in fact, I don't even know if I can get to it. But basically, I'm going to keep talking about it until I pull it up. So there used to be a website called stopdatamining.me, right? And the object of that, okay, dismiss. Let's go to opt out. Here it is, the opt out list. This is recent. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's go to the share screen. Actually, let's do this. Let's go hit F12. No, F11. So we can full screen it. And we're going to go to the share. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bigger because, of course, we're all blind.
Even my glasses ain't doing no good on them little letters, man. Dang.
No, because I got to increase the thing. I guess when you put it full screen, it doesn't allow you to see the stuff. So let's go here. And let's not do that because I can't see it. So let's go here and raise it up. Let's see. Can you see that now a bit?
Better.
Okay. So let's make it full screen now. And now you should be able to see it. Okay. So there's a website called stopdatamining.me. And I'm going to put this link up later, Alton, so that you can get to this, because this is worth $3,000. This is what I charge $3,000 to take you off public records, because it's a tedious process and it's irritating as hell.
Right.
But if you do it, you already know all your information anyway.
Right.
So it's best for you, the consumer, to do it. So here's the thing. There used to be a site called stopdatamining.me, right? And it had 50 different sites on it that you had to opt out on. Now, something happened and the credit card companies got to them or something, because that website does not exist anymore. In fact, I'm going to, okay, let's just move that out the way. I'm going to pull the website up. I mean, a blank screen, so that you can see that it doesn't exist anymore. Stop datamining.me. Fatal error. Oh, it doesn't work. The website has been taken down. They have been sued. Oh, it's horrible. But before it got taken down, I, Brian Bacchus Esquire, decided that, you know what? This shit ain't gonna stay up here for a long time. So let's go ahead and take this and make my own template. And so 4 years ago, I did that. So I'm going to pull the template up for you. And I'm also going to give you the link later to go get it yourself. So let's go over here. Wrong thing. This is what happens when you do a show and you're not prepared, because you wanted to talk about so much stuff, but you thought that by having all this crap up on the windows already, it would be in the way. And now you open up other windows to open up more crap that's in the way.
Hey, you got 90 browsers open right now. I mean, damn.
I really do, dude. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. But there's I hate when I say that. Where is it? Opt-out list. Here it is. Aha. So this is the opt-out list. I don't know if you can see that, and you don't have to screenshot this or copy it or nothing. I'm going to tell you where you can get your own. So this is all 50 data broker companies. Now, let me tell you something about data broker companies. You guys, with your apps and the beauty app, the glamour app, all these stupid apps, right, that you use. You know, what am I going to look like when I'm 40 years from now? Every last one of them I see, guess what you guys are doing? You're contributing to all of these data mining companies because they're all attached to all of these apps on the App Store. Right. On, you know, it doesn't matter. When you go to subscribe to something and get some free credit report or a free credit lesson or free this, you're giving up some form of data of your information. You're going to give up your name. You're going to give up a real email address because guess what the trick is now? You're not getting the thing where you put the email in and then you can click the next link. So I used to put anybody at 1.2.com. That's what I used to put as the email because I just wanted to go to the next screen, right? But now they make you go ahead and give you the real email so that you will be able to get the link sent to your email. Yeah. See, there's a twofold thing there. I want your email address so I can market to you more, but these people want your email address so they can sell it to the data mining companies. Right. So these are the top 50 data mining broker companies out there. So you got Axiom, Data Logic, Epsilon. Now, all of these are what people use for background checks and stuff like that, you know, for companies and things like that. Equifax, of course, Experian, Fair Isaac, which is FICO, and Hart Hanks. Now, Hart Hanks is another one that they use. Wells Fargo, internal stuff. Everybody has their own little thing they go through. Intellius, those are public. LexisNexis. I'm going to come back to LexisNexis because that's part of this that you need to actually utilize. TransUnion, of course, but then you got these other ones: Ameridex, Been Verified, Email Finder, Innovis, Locate People, and you're going to see some of them you even know. Merlin, Merkle, People Finders, People Look Up. All this shit you see right here is all bad for you. Why? Because every last one of these has information on you. All over the place. And if you don't believe me, Dun & Bradstreet, well, you have to use that one for your business. But all these ones, you see this list keeps going. So now it's at the very end. That's 50. Now, I've copied all of these off that site because I knew that site was going to get shut the hell down. And it did. So back to this one right here. This is the link that tells you how to get to the other link. So basically, you read all this first. Because, you know, a lot of times you're not going to come back and watch this video. We've been going now for like 43 minutes. So you're not going to fast forward to the 40-minute mark and decide that you're going to go watch this. You just pretty much, I'm going to put the link there in the comments or in the body of the video. So you can just click it at the top. But you make a copy of the Word document first. That way, the one I just did, that way you can keep track of the ones you did. You do the first 10. You can do the rest of them 30 to 60 days, but you got to remember, every time you do these, nothing's going to change until 30 days passes. Because once you opt out, it's got to go on a 30-day cycle. Now, you might see it after the first 30 days. You might see it after the second 30 days, but you will no longer see it. So these right here, LexisNexis, the reason why I included LexisNexis is because they have what they call a full file disclosure. So what you do is you go to LexisNexis site and you look up full file disclosure. It's going to give you a link to an application that you got to print out and send back to them with $25 along with your copy of your driver's license. Now, I'm going to give you guys some heads up on driver's license when you will need to send in documents. Make a copy of your driver's license, and on that copy, black out your signature. I'm going to repeat this again. When you have to send your driver's license in to an entity, blot out your signature. Because if it gets in the wrong hands, your signature is what guarantees that you signed the document. If somebody's able to lift your signature off of that and put it on a document that's barely legible, well, that counts against you. You'd have to fight tooth and nail to figure how to get out of that one. So just take my advice and do not use your signature on any document you send in. If they want to, if they got to ask for more, then you don't need that. So you go there, you do this, and then when you do all that, I even say right here, block out the signature line on the copy. Then you go to all the other ones I told you, read all this stuff. This is the link I'm gonna send you first. Read all that first, and then go to this link right here is going to be in the link that I sent you. This is the actual document right there. Like I said, you don't need to copy it. I'm going to put it up there. So that right there, in fact, let me go ahead and I'll get the link right now because, you know, some people might be like, I'm ready to get off of here. Just give me the damn link. Stop playing. But you know, you gotta please everybody. You can't, but you have to. Okay, opt-out freeze list. Is that it? Opt-out freeze list? No, that ain't even it. Let's go back here and copy the link. There we go. And then I'll take that off of there. And here is the link, people, to that document. In fact, I'll pop it up there. That's very long, so hopefully you can just copy it. If not, I'm going to, at the end of the show, I'm going to put the link in the body of the thing so you can just click it from there. The reason why I was talking about that for the past 15 minutes is because that is the most very important thing you do first when you're repairing your credit. Because I'm going to tell you what happens. Say you got a collection. They put you on Innovis. They reported you to a public domain. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion all comb public records. So as soon as they see that on there, they put it on your thing. Public records can hit you out of nowhere. Somebody could put a lien on your property and it puts it on your name. Somebody could sue you and that would put that on your name and put it on your credit. Now, if somebody runs your credit and see there's a public record on there or somebody suing you and they about to loan you some money, they might not.
Right.
So you don't want that. And that's the problem with public records. So you got to keep those off of your page or off of your credit report. It's going to take some time to do this. It took me, if I would have sat down and did it straight, probably would have took me 12 hours. I would have been too damn tired to do it that way. So it took me almost a week because I did about 2 hours a day. Because now I'm going to also tell you guys, when you do click this link, I've had this list since 2017. So some of the links may not take you to the opt-out site. But when you're on that site, search the whole site for opt-out. If you're on a computer, hit Control F, and a little search button comes up, and just search for opt-out. And it'll tell you where to go find it. But you want to opt out of all of these. Now, if you freeze your account, it's good for up to 5 years. And the opt-out list is good for up to 5 years as well. The difference is, like say you were needing to get an SBA loan. You would have had to unfreeze your account in order for them to run your credit to give you a loan. That's the only drawback I see. Now, the thing is, once your account is frozen, they're going to have to call you to verify everything on your credit. So this also kind of helps you out for identity theft.
Right.
Because if they got to call you for everything that you apply for, then you'll never have to worry about nobody stealing your identity.
Right.
Because they have to call you for everything. So that's a good benefit of it. But other than that, you know, it wasn't something that, you know, people would even think about or know about because they don't do that. They don't think about that kind of stuff. So
next question, B. What's the mentality you should have if you decide you're gonna go and clear your credit yourself? You're not going to no credit repair, you're not paying nobody else to do it. You're saying, you know what, I want to get my credit together, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make the calls. I'm like, you give me a feel of that.
Start with this opt-out list that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Do that first. Look and see what your credit does after the 30, 60 days. You'd be surprised. Second, go to Credit Karma or Credit Sesame or one of these free ones. And, you know, I used to be one of these advocates where, you know, if you owed a thing on your credit, you could dispute it to death. and it will come off because of the fact. Now, certain credit unions aren't going to do that. They will keep that on there until you die and then try to attach it to your kids. But that's why you can't be messing over credit unions, because, you know, they got a whole different way of doing stuff to you. Oh, yeah, we're nice, but try us and we'll turn into a Karen. But that's the first step. The second step is to go pull your report, look at each thing that's negative, and call them. What I did, this is what I did. I had 4 negatives. I pulled my credit report off Credit Sesame. I looked up the numbers. I called them up, and this is what I said exactly. Hi, I owe you some money.
Yeah.
I would like to go ahead and pay you this money. However, I don't want this on my credit report anymore. So what I need to do is do a pay to delete. Now, there's a letter that's called pay to delete.
Right.
To delete anything on your stuff, right? But sometimes you don't have time for that. So you call them up and they'll ask you for your email address, and they'll send you a pay to delete letter that says, once you pay this amount, then all we're going to do is take that amount, and then this will be deleted off your record immediately, and it won't show up for 30 days. You know, so if you did it today, May 26th is when it wouldn't be on there again, because it takes 30 days from that point. No matter what, it takes 30 days from the point of them accepting it. Doesn't matter if they sent you the letter and 2 weeks later you pay. From the moment you pay, that's when the 30 days start.
Right.
So now here's the beautiful thing about calling them, right? They already got preset scripts. So they already ready to give you a discount on what you owe. So say you owe $300. Well, you know it. If you pay today, we'll charge you $172.
Exactly. I did
no problem. Yeah, that's what they do. But you don't offer them anything.
You've settled, though, B. Now you've settled for a lower amount. How does that hurt you? When
it doesn't.
Really, the average thought is,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. Settled, we're good.
It doesn't. You want to know why? Because you asked them for a pay to delete.
Got you.
You want this thing off. It's been a negative thorn in your side. So if it's not there, your score goes up. If you pay it off, unless it's like an account that's 5 or 6 years old and you want to keep the history, then pay it and keep it on there. But if you don't care and you just want it off because you don't want that thing to come up when you run your report, derogatories, negatives, you don't want that. That's what pay to delete is for. You pay to delete and it gets deleted. Don't pay to get a better review. Don't pay. Everything is to get rid of stuff. Period.
You know what's crazy, B, is last year when I decided, man, I'm about to clear this credit up. And how them folks I owed, it was amazing that it's what you're saying. It was one phone call. And I said, I was about to pay some credit repair and all that.
Well, you know what's really funny?
A simple call. It was like calling my daughter. It was a simple phone call. They said, you owe $500. You give me $150 today and you good. And I was like, that was too easy. It was too easy. And I went down the line of everybody I owed it. It happened every single. I didn't pay nobody in full. And I just ping, 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 ping. Got them all. Man.
And you looked up and you had the money and you looked back and said, I got about $1,200 left.
That gave me some nice discounts.
I was like, I'm going to Ruth Chris's tonight with my new credit.
But B, it was crazy. It wasn't a process. It was a call. It was a call.
Credit report. Let me tell you what credit repair people do.
Repairs, yeah.
They don't know.
They're killing people.
They want you to pay a monthly fee to them.
Right.
So they do it the long way. They send the letter with the certified mail return receipt. And then they got to go count the 30 days from the date on the return receipt from when it was signed. Mm-hmm. So you might get that back in a week or two. And then you got 2 more weeks to wait.
Right.
And then if they decide not to answer, you got to send the letter again. Why? Because you got to do 2 service requests in order for you to go now to the bureau and say, hey, I've been trying to reach out. They're not responding. I need this taken off. Why wait 90 days? I mean, I want to buy a house probably in 4 months. I'm not trying to wait 90 days. when I can have them release this tomorrow.
Right.
So,
and it was amazing it was amazing how the score. I just watched it rise, and I said, man, if I would have paid a credit bureau, they would have been calling me saying, "Look what we doing for you."
Now here's you, and here's the credit bureau. You already did what you need to do. They still going, yeah, you know what? We got a new program that you need to be on, and it will help. Now beware of those people that add trade lines to your account too. Be very aware and beware, because they're going to charge you a monthly fee to keep that trade line on. Now, I'm just going to put this out there, but when I was doing trade lines for people, I would charge you 10% of the card, and that's it. And you have it for the rest of your life, because the cards that I put people on, they don't get used but once a month and get paid off right away. They carry like a $25,000 limit, has a balance of $1,000, like $1,273 or something. But you have to have it like that, because you can't have a zero balance. People are going to look at you like, why are you asking for another credit card and you're not even using these over here?
The other ones got you.
That's what they look at, because they want you to use a credit card so they can see your credit history. How often have you paid on this $9,000 balance you got? Oh, look like you ain't never missed a payment. Okay, well here's our $5,000 card, or 10 or whatever. Or if you need an increase, if you ain't been making your monthly payments on time, you can forget that increase. That's a done deal.
Okay, now minimum payment. You spoke on that a little bit. Minimum payment. Explain what happens when you pay a little bit more than the minimum payment. Is that a nice strategy to help your credit score, or isn't it? Like you always hear about it. Speak on that. Okay, I owe $50 minimum payment, but I give you 70. Like, I'm just trying to be ahead of the game, just to give you a pinch more. Is that a strategy that actually works?
Depends on your balance.
Okay.
Depends on the type of card. So for instance, if you're used to paying your stuff off all the time, then don't worry about interest rates, because they're not going to affect you at all. You're not going to carry the balance over to the next month. But if you got a $5,000 card and you use $4,000 of it,
okay,
and you're paying the minimum payment of $86,
okay,
well, they're charging you $60 a month to hold that balance.
Right.
So every time you pay 80, they charging you 60. You're only paying 20.
Right.
The only benefit to paying the minimum is to make sure that your payments aren't missed.
Gotcha.
That's the only benefit to it. Other than that, that credit utilization is the key. You don't want to have $3,600 on this credit card and only have 2 credit cards, because now you've already reached past 50% on that card. Hell, you had 80%. But if your cards balance out, it's like, say you got 5 cards and each 5,000.
Right.
So your average is 5,000 because you got 5 cards.
Right.
And if you spend 4,000 over here, well, guess what your credit utilization is? Less than 20%.
Right.
Why? Because that's $5,000 over there, which is 20% of your cards you have, and you're using 4,000. So you're really using something like 16%. So your credit utilization is 16%. Now, Alton, I'm glad you brought this up. She said, can adding people to your credit card with good credit help the person add it? Yes, it does. And yes, it can. And yes, I am a person that has been added to some lines. And yes, it does help a lot. And in return, I've added people to some of the new cards that I've got with high limits, because it's helping them out. Now, the difference is the history. Say you have a 10-year-old card and it's $25,000. If you add me to that card, I get your whole history. So I get 10 years of history. Now, if I just opened up all my cards last year, I only got a 1-year credit history. But when you add my history to yours, the averages. So say I got 5 cards, right? And I'll open them all up this year. So my average is 1 year. But if you add the 10 years, then your average is 6 divided by 10, which is now going to give me a better percentage rate on the utilization as well as the credit history, because now I have 3 years history based off of that percentage. You know, you added your 10. I only got 1 here. So it gives me 3 or 4 years on average history, which actually puts you over the top so that you can, because that credit bureaus look at how long you had the card. How many payments have you missed? What's the credit utilization? Those are the 3 things that they look at. So if somebody adds you on as an authorized user, you get their whole history. Now, here's the caveat to that. If they mess their credit up, so yours gets messed up too.
Right. You better trust them. You better trust them. You're fooling with. Yeah.
That's why the card that I added people to is sitting in the bank vault. I can't use it. Because, you know, you be tempted. You be forgetting. You be in Vegas. Take the wrong card with you. Everybody credit go down. Didn't even sing that song. Everybody mad.
Hey, Brian, now that 30%, the number 30% is always a big number. Is that the number to try to stay below? Is that the number?
15% is the number to really try to stay below.
Okay.
If you're hitting 30%, that's the threshold that they want you to not go over.
Right.
You don't want to be close to it. You know, because that hinders you from getting anything else.
And like it's not per card 30. It's all your standard 30%.
That's why if somebody says, "Hey man, I can add you to my $25,000 credit card," I say, "What's your balance?" Because if your balance is 20,000, nah, I don't need that headache. Right. I don't care how big the number is. Your utilization is gonna put me over the top. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's such a chore to actually. Oh man, someone's calling me. No, don't be calling me now. I'm doing a show. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
I mean, it's going down, but I heard something.
No, it's still there. I hate that. I can't answer right now. Let's stop that. Okay, and I'll send him a text saying, "I'm doing a show right now. I'll call you after 7." Yep, that's it. No, that's not it. That's USB-C. Sorry, man. I gotta answer this guy. You know, that's the messed up part when I'm doing something, but I also have another job. You know, another company. No. USB to gigabit, not USB-C. Okay, so yeah, that was crazy. I wasn't expecting that. But anyway, to get back to your question, don't you got to trust people about the credit utilization, because you know, even though somebody has you to their car, you never know what kind of emergency they might have to go through. Right. You know, might have something that it was a $4,000 emergency. My toe was about to get cut off. I had to pay this cash, you know.
Now, can you say you got somebody on your card for say a year or 2? Is it like that to take them off? You contact the credit, boom, off? Or is it a process?
No, it takes it right off. The problem is their history is going to be on for 30 days.
Okay.
But the thing is, I wouldn't take anybody off. Here's the thing: when I have people,
they start acting up. You know what I mean? You like,
it ain't got nothing to do with them. No, they're not using the card. You gotta remember, when somebody adds you on their thing, they're not giving you the card; they're giving you their history.
But they still acted up, and you don't want that fool in your life. You cutting their ties.
Well, you could do that, you know.
you get that fool off your paperwork completely. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, man? I helped you out, and now you messing up.
Messing up.
Where my money? Your credit messed up now.
My money.
See, that's black mentality. We can't be having that. You gotta think financial mentality. Black people be like, you know what? That's it, sucker.
You get mad at them one day. I'm taking you on my credit. I'm taking you off.
Yeah, I've had those conversations.
Now, Brian, can you have too many cards? What if you're utilizing all of them? Is there some at one point can you do too much to hurt you? Or if you got 20 cards, you're using them all, you're working with the system, you're good.
Here's the thing about 20 or 30 or 40 cards. The more cards you have, the better your averages are across the board. Like, for instance, there's a guy, I watch his videos, he's got 43 cards, right?
Crazy.
Totaling about $375,000 in credit.
Insane.
So check this out. If he decides to go use $30 on one credit, guess how much utilization he's used? 10%. Why? Because he's got $350,000 worth of credit.
Yeah.
If he uses 30%, I mean 30,000, that's 10% of all the cards.
He barely tapping in, yeah.
Right. So you can actually pay the minimum on that forever and then it never kill you.
Gotcha.
But you got to remember, how do you even get to that point? That's not overnight. That's a process. That's, especially when you go buy a house or a car, a big ticket item, and you've been paying on it for 6 months, guess what ends up happening? And I forgot to even tap in on this. They start sending you pre-approved cards. And I ain't talking 2,000, 5,000. When you bought a big ticket item like a house for 750,000 or something, first thing that you want to do when you get a house and you start getting equity in it is don't even worry about credit cards. Get you an equity line of credit on your house. This way you can tap into the money that's already there to like pay your bills down, for instance. So that's why you go get a house. They have adapters. Yeah, if you buy a house, they're going to send you credit cards buku. Why? Because they know you got an obligation and you're paying that. Yeah, perfect. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once. I'm doing my IT side and then
you know too many people, man. You know too many people.
Well, I just came from setting up a computer system for one of my clients at the podiatrist's office, and we noticed that the laptop that we bought didn't have an Ethernet port. And being in a hospital setting, medical clinics, you're not using your stuff over Wi-Fi. You got to plug it to secure network. So you have to have the necessary tools to do it. So he was on his way to go buy it. I had forgot about it. So this way I could actually, I'm kind of glad I got 3 monitors, because that would have been a disaster popping up in the middle of the thing. Okay, so what's your next question?
Let's go with checking your credit on a daily, man.
Don't do it.
Say it again.
Don't do it. Nothing changes every day. In fact, it changes a lot every day. That's what you're going to be pissed off about. 1 minute your thing might say 679, the next minute might say 655 because you just got a new account over here at the Guitar Center.
Pissed off. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's why you can't credit watch. I tell people that you can't be snitching, sneaking and spying on you. You can't be stalking your credit reports. It's just going to make you have a headache. You only really have to check it every 30 days.
Is Credit Karma what would you suggest to people to want them to, probably the main? And we spoke on it earlier how only 2 are on there out of the 3, but is that a good one to have on your phone, man, to keep that
your bank has your FICO score now too.
True.
So you can also go there, but those opt-out sites that I showed you, FICO and Hart Hanks, those are the 2. Oh, and damn, there's this one, I forgot what it was. It's called Credco or something. That's what they use. I think that's it. We'll pull it up right quick. But Credco, yeah, which Credco is part of CoreLogic, which is part of the opt-out people that you want to get away from. So yeah, it's funny. Let me just give you a hint about the opt-out thing versus where they actually got to run your credit in order to buy a house or something. So Credco, which is run by CoreLogic, which is a data mining site, because they sell all your information to marketers, everything. But the thing is, they pull from all three credit bureaus at once.
Right.
And what Credco does is it does the average, their average of the scores or the lowest one. So whatever your lowest score is, that's the one you need to work on.
Okay, I got you.
That's why you have My FICO, Credco, and there's one other one I probably mentioned it already. Those are the true credits. Oh, your bank. Those are your true credit scores, because they're pulling from where they would pull if they were going to give you a mortgage. That's why you trust a bank's credit score more than any of these.
Okay.
Now my credit score shows me having like a 685, but my bank score shows me a 616. Who do I believe?
Gotcha. Exactly.
So Alton is asking, can you trust your credit card that gives your FICO score each month? No, you trust the bank, because your credit card is going to give you a number that they're going to use for you. That's why I like Navy Federals, because not only are they my bank, but they're also my credit card holders, and they tell me my true FICO score.
Got you.
So when I get ready to buy a house, all I need to be is at 640 in order to go through Navy Federal to get the house, because they already have my whole history, everything I spend, in fact, my whole life is Navy Federal, because I use my personal account for my personal stuff. I use the credit cards for personal and business. I haven't opened up a business account with them. I probably won't, because I don't really want to deal with a credit union on business accounts. But I'd rather deal with somebody on a business that I can go to wherever.
Gotcha.
Bank of America, Wells Fargo are all over.
Everywhere. Yeah.
So, I don't know where Navy Federals are, where any recard. In fact, I have not been in a branch yet, and I've had this account for a year.
Gotcha.
But I've been at the branch because I put my stimulus check in the ATM.
I've only been there once when I opened the account. The only time
I didn't even open the account that way. I was somebody gave me a referral, and I did it online. Right. And I've referred 20 people since then. Gotcha. They used to give you $25 per referral, but now they got greedy, and now it's an honor and a privilege just to have the account. Yeah, they're bad, but they're good. But trust your bank. Credit cards are going to try to get you. They're going to try to give you a spike just so that you can get more credit cards through them. Mm-hmm. I learned this the hard way. You trust the credit card company, and then you go to your bank or you go to your real score. You be like, that ain't the score. So never stalk your score. Just don't do it.
Stalk your score.
But because you get frustrated, you be like trying to think, what can I do? What can I do? Just let things take its course naturally. Nothing happens overnight. You can't go and apply for 10 credit cards in one day and expect to get them all. In fact, you won't get any. Right. Because that's what they call stacking. Now, there is a trick you can do that I've seen it work for some people. I'm not saying go try it, but if you opened up, say you wanted to go apply for 3 credit cards, you haven't applied in a while, and you want to apply for 3, first thing you need to do is figure out which credit cards are going to pull from what bureau. Now, there's a lot of websites out there that let you will kind of give you insight on that. There's a lot of credit card blogs. You should just go look them up. I'm not going to give you any particular one. Right. Because the ones that I follow, they give me the information that I'm looking for. But what you could do is you on the computer, not on your phone, but open up 3 different browsers, like Safari, Firefox, Google, Opera, and figure out which cards are going to apply to what. So if this one is going to do TransUnion, this one's going to do Equifax, this one's going to do Experian. Have them all up there at the same time. ready to put all your information in, the same exact everything, have all the browsers up there. And when it's ready to go hit submit your information, go submit, submit, submit. And then watch the miracle happen. Because I mean, you know, but you got to know which cards pull from what. That's why these credit card blogs are really great, because people will come on and tell you which card that they use and what it pulled from. So that gives you an idea. You're not guessing. Right. You know, they're telling you. You know, and credit card blogs are the best because they give you insight on stuff that, you know, you really wanted to ask the question about because you thought you was the only one. Come to find out that there are 1,600 other people that went through the same thing. And now you're frustrated because you see that there's no hope in sight. Then you get that one person that comes on and says, no, this is the number you have to call. Right. That's why this show every week is going to give people insight on stuff that I learned, because I'm combing these sites every day, because I look for like things that will give you a credit score that are off the beaten path, like jewelry companies. Mm-hmm. Jewelry company will give you $5,000 credit limit. You just got to buy something right away. You might have to spend $150 on like a bracelet or something. Right. But the cool thing is they ask you for a down payment and you make the monthly payments of $20, $50. You know, the whole point is to establish a trend of payments, right, so that credit limit is worth something. You know, I got a $5,000 credit limit. I use $600. Credit card companies love you because they know that you're not going to do that to them. That you're doing that, you know, because you're doing right by this particular company.
Okay, B, check it out. We were speaking on it earlier offline. You apply for a credit card. Back, denied. Explain to them what you had told me about what they should do next.
Okay, so people apply for credit cards all the time online. They get denied. Two things happen when that happens. Number one, you get an inquiry. Number two, you don't get the trade line. So when the trade line doesn't match the inquiry, that's a problem. So what people don't know is that if you get denied, they usually give you some sort of phone number right there to call. Immediately call that number. Because half the time that you got denied, it was for something that had nothing to do with human interaction.
Gotcha. The system just denied you.
Yeah, based on the criteria that they already have out there to weed out people they don't really want to deal with. They want A1. They want, A+++ credit. But say you got A credit. So you got B credit. And you get denied. Or if you call, 9 times out of 10, they'll give you the credit. It might not be as high as what you thought, but now that trade line matches that credit trade inquiry. A lot of people won't call because they're afraid. Stop being afraid of questioning your credit.
Right.
You know, it's your credit. Don't be afraid to call them. In fact, when you owe the credit card companies something, in fact, no, let's just go back from day one. So if anybody is still on here listening, this is basically what you should do. And this pandemic should have taught you this, right? Credit card companies offer you insurance. If you lose your job, go on disability, some kind of pandemic happens. It only costs you 87 cents a month. Some of them charge you $1.62. Who cares what it costs?
Still worth it. Still, it don't matter.
For the past from March until December, that insurance paid my credit card minimums.
See,
and I'm still using the cards.
Got you.
You got to work the system. If you're going to pay for something, know how to use it. Right. When you get in a car accident, you got insurance. What's the first thing you reach for? Your insurance card from the glove compartment. Because now I got mine. Where yours at, homie?
Right.
You know, if you don't have it, now I got to get the police involved. Because, you know, you got to do your due diligence so the insurance company will go ahead and take care of yours. Okay, I'm going to give you a case in point. I got into a real bad car accident when I first got my Mercedes back in 2017, right? I was coming down to 110 from Pasadena. And, you know, you got Chinatown exit right there to the far left. and you got the other 3 lanes go to the 110, keep going to downtown.
Right.
I'm in this lane over here. Here come this lady. I ain't gonna say no cultural background, nothing, because I don't even want to bring.
I'll take a wild guess.
She comes and tries to beat me in the lane. I'm already here, so she slams into my car. I couldn't get out because I was pinned against the wall. Couldn't open the door. And her car was pinned to me in, right? Now, that's the worst place to have an accident because you hold up the whole traffic. It backs all the way up to Pasadena.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. So I had to open up the sunroof. I jump out the sunroof. Now, to the average person in their car driving by, it looks like I'm trying to jump out to run.
You're looking like Superman jumping out there.
I look like I'm about to run away from the accident. Man, I jumped out, had my cell phone, and started videotaping everything.
Gotcha.
You want to know why? Because guess what she told her insurance company? He rear-ended me. How I rear-end you? And the video shows otherwise. So my insurance company said, well, they said you rear-ended her. I sent in the video. I said, roll the tape, Jim.
Roll the freaking tape.
And he saw that. Guess what? They sent me my deductible back because it wasn't my fault. They showed the video to the other insurance company. They looked at her like
just lying. Straight
her
up.
whole back. I put it live on Facebook when it happened. I'm like, I need documentation. You was about to get me. I need my car fixed. And it looked brand new now. I got new headlights and everything. Like, thanks.
Dang.
But yeah, you got to have insurances for your credit cards.
All credit card companies,
most credit card companies have insurance.
Offer that.
Prepaid secure ones don't have insurance. That's your money.
Gotcha.
You should ensure that that's not going to get messed up. That's your own money.
That's you.
Right. How you look stupid spending your own money and say, I'm only gonna pay the minimum. So damn money.
It's you.
Look, I'm robbing the left pocket to pay the right. You ain't gonna get it today. I ain't got it.
You're just talking to yourself.
Just put your clothes in the wash at the laundromat full of money and just leave them there, so that somebody can be courteous and put your stuff in the dryer and find all your money.
Right.
Out of here. Now I know some people like that. Oh, so you mean to tell me that I can't spend the money and it's mine? Yeah, you can. But what happened? I'm gonna tell you. You already know who I'm talking about. Our boy. Anyway, okay. He probably watching too. Talking, that ain't me. Anyway,
LV in the building.
Like, man, kill it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the best thing to do right there.
Okay.
Is to get the insurances, because like this pandemic, 4 of my cards I haven't had to pay at all because it's pandemic. So
that insurance part though, that got to be fine print, because I don't never see that advertised.
It's advertised. It's real fine print.
You know what I'm saying?
In fact, certain credit cards, when you go to look at their interest rates, they have the thing on there. Let me see. Credit card insurance. In case of, let me see. In case
of disaster.
But they put in case of death. Put it this way. If my credit card, if I die and my credit card owe a bill, y'all better not pay that.
Yeah, bet not.
Okay, so October. This is from an excerpt from Investopedia. I'm gonna pull it up. Let's roll the tape, Jim. I like saying that. Roll the tape. So IUCC Insurance says this is an insurance policy normally offered by your credit card company to cover payments during a period of unemployment. Loss of self-employed work or quitting your job will not be covered. The that this service cost varies from company to company. So all these questions you can ask right here.
Right.
And tell you, can you lose your home on a credit card? Yeah, you can, but we're not talking about that right now.
Right.
That's another subject altogether. Anybody else got any questions? We got a whole audience of 2.
Yeah, I think I'm good though. This is as long as you post this, Brian, and people can watch it later.
Dude, don't go by that number up there. At the end of this, it'll be like 250 people that watch this thing.
No, that's good because it's valuable information, man.
The thing is, as you do these weekly, you'll get more of an audience because people want the real nitty gritty of credit, not okay. Well, what you need to do is these are the steps, and you need to do this. People ask questions. Questions deserve answers.
Right.
Like it might be a long answer, it might be a short answer, but people want to know the real deal, and they want to know where to go to get the best deals. Now, I'm gonna tell you, the credit unions are the best bet. You don't really want to mess with the banks because the banks are only really interested in corporations.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the only reason why they let people open up banks in their bank is because it's a convenience for the people.
Gotcha.
They don't need your money.
Right.
But the minute I tell you right this, let that insufficient funds kick in. That's $35 a pop. 35. You know how much money they make off certain people who just give their money away? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go many times. I'm gonna go buy some Nikes at Foot Locker. Oh, it's Friday. Oh, so it's not gonna even show up until Monday. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go get this Victoria's Secret thing and this, that, and the other, and this, and you only got $100 on your card. Come Monday, Tuesday. Here, you done got 7 insufficient fund fees. That's almost $300.
Hey, I used to try to figure that out and thought I was smart. They told me up every time. Because then you got to think. Remember that little item you bought that didn't, you know what I mean?
That didn't clear yet.
That didn't clear yet. Now, all of a sudden, you in an insufficient fund zone and you bought something for $4.
And it cost you $35.
Bam, got you. That's crazy how that works, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Alton. I appreciate the comments. It's actually my man Ricky asking the questions that's sparking the stories from, I remember back when I ordered my first credit card, they didn't even have strips on the back. No, that's what my mother told me. She said they have strips on the back. Remember they had a MasterCard? It took up the whole card. The big round. Yeah, that shit was scary looking. I'm like, man, you don't want to mess with that. That's a credit card. So Alton asked, can you get a small business loan to start a new business? Yes, that's going to be our next session. We're going to talk about business credit. In fact, you see that link going across the bottom that says my website and business credit? If you click that, in fact, I'll give you a snippet. I'll give you a preview. We'll go to it right now. Let's go to that particular site. You go here and you go to business credit up here. You go to business credit tips, and every time I do that, it jumps down to the business tools. This will allow you to show you how to get $100,000 worth of low interest business loans, leases, credit lines. But before you look at that part, we go start at the second one, the business startup guide. Now, I had this open earlier, but I'll open it up right now. Now, this, and I'm going to briefly talk about this because this is not what we were talking about this week. This is a whole show in itself. But this guide will tell you what to do. Initial startup, choosing a business type, creating a name, getting a structure, which one is best for you. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about sole proprietorships and general partnerships, because those are not feasible entities to get a loan with. I'm just telling you. Look at the LLC and the S corporation, because they both treat those as one person, even though they actually give you protection. The corporation, the C Corp, is the actual one that protects you 100% because it's its own entity. S corporations put the liability on you, and so do LLCs, depending on how you structure them. If you file them as a partnership, then you will get, you have to file the IRS form 2553, which turns them into like a corporation type. That way it protects you. A lot of people don't know that. They'll file an LLC and then go, okay, I'm good. I'm protected. No, you're not. You don't even know what the hell you just did. You filed an LLC and you didn't even follow through. Are you going to be a corporate? Are you going to be a partnership? Are you going to be an individual? Do you want your LLC to act as a corporation? So that this page right here tells you how this is structured, how you need to go there, what address, how you need to set up your address, your image, what product you're going to sell, all of that crap. But this basically, you need to know what you're going to file. And you need to actually make sure that you go and do a search with the Federal Trademark Office and file a trademark, because once somebody gets a hold of your stuff and they use it, you ain't nothing you can do about it. You got to start your whole brand over again. That's why I always tell people, go across the board and get your social media names across the board, 100 social media sites, because you never know which one is going to be the one that takes the helm. Who knows what Twitter may do tomorrow? Who knows what Quora may do, or Reddit, or Pinterest or Etsy? You need to have all those things, because you never know what direction you might go in. So to answer your question, next week's show, we're going to be talking more about that. And I'll get into the real nuts and bolts of it so that, you can understand how you need to have your stuff structured. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't ever get, which you need to have, is a fax line, because banks do business with fax. Most high-end credit people do business with fax. A lot of people don't use faxes because we got cell phones. They got e-fax. Hell, get a landline in your house and get a number and dedicate that to your business fax. It ain't gonna cost you much. You can add a phone to your cable bill. They don't care. It's like $10 or whatever. But you need those structures in place in order to have what you need to succeed with your business, in order to get a loan. Now, SBA gives business grants, and there's a lot of grants you can go out. I would rather go out and look for grants to get than loans. Grants you don't have to give back. Loans you do. Another thing that helps your business is to have a sister nonprofit. Like me, I got BBC, Brian Bacchus Consulting, right? But I also have BBC Kids as a nonprofit. And I give back my time by teaching 9 to 12-year-old STEM projects. We fly rockets. Next, we're going to be flying drones. They're going to learn about inertia, energy physics, aeronautics, all that. I like to teach kids things that they're actually used in real life, not something that they might not ever go into, So no problem, Alton. We're going to go deep. We're going to do a deep dive next week. Trust me. I've been waiting to talk about this. The personal credit is something that everybody can do. Business credit is for people that are it's a patient game. There's 4 tiers to business credit. And the first tier starts at Staples, Office Depot, and Office Max. And I'll tell you the game once we start.
Bang. Brian, man, I appreciate the info, man. It can never get old.
Oh, no problem.
Credit ain't going nowhere. It goes week to week, month to month. You always, it's
look at it as a every 30 days thing, and you won't even look again. In fact, you'll know your credit and what it's doing. I get alerts. I don't look at it. It sends me an alert. Hey, your credit score. I always get the ones. Hey, your credit utilization went up. Because I'm always buying. And that's what I get those every month until I pay it down at the end of the month. Then he goes, hey, your core score just jumped.
He said, hey,
40 points. Yeah, that's what they sent me. I'm like, it's going to drop 40 points when I start using the card again. It's like the stupidest thing. That's why you don't stalk your credit score. Stalk your credit score, and it's going to be a problem.
I freaked out once, man. My credit, it dropped about 40 points. And I lost. I went crazy.
Mine dropped 80 in one day.
I couldn't sleep for a week. I thought I was doing good. But then the next cycle, it went right back up. You know what I mean?
That's why you don't watch it. See, once you apply for something, two times you look at it. Right before you apply to see if am I there, right. And then 30 days after you apply, what's it looking like? Because in between those 30 days, it's gonna go like this.
Gotcha. I noticed that. Right.
Because your credit utilization is kicking in. Like I use my credit card for everything: gas, food, groceries, laundry, whatever. And then at the end, I pay the whole thing off because I already have the money to pay for it. I just ain't paying for it right there because
got you.
The purpose of having credit cards is not to spend your cash. Right. It's to use them and then spend your cash to pay them.
Got you. Exactly.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like, oh, no, I can't mess with that credit card, man. That interest rate. Well, if you ate dinner today and you had no credit cards, you'd have to pay in cash, right?
Right.
So you pretty much are going to budget yourself. So if you make $6,000 a month and it's 30 days in a month, that means you can only spend $200 a day. If you go over that limit, like over the weekend, and you spend $1,000, well, you can't buy nothing the rest of the week because you didn't went over your budget. So now you got to get back and wait till next Saturday to catch up to it, spending $200 a day again. Now, the average person shouldn't be going out spending $200 a day every day. You should be cooking at home. You should be, going for walks instead of going bowling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Walks instead of bowling.
Bowling costs money. Give you the same amount of energy as walking. It's just sex is free if you have a partner.
True that.
That's a good workout. Now, unless you got a woman that wants you to be buying her something afterwards, then that really wasn't worth it. I was just playing.
Then you get penalized.
So that's all you buy? I only got fries? I can only spend $200 a day. I only got $1.75 left to spend right now. You gotta wait till midnight. I remember when I used to have a job, right? And my direct deposit would kick in at like 11 o'clock on Thursday night.
Right.
So I would go to Saddle Ranch and just go to town, right? Because I'm like, I ain't leaving here till 1. And when my money kick on.
That money kick in. Damn.
You'd be like, can y'all wait like until, I know y'all about to close at 12. Can you close at 12:05? I just wait. I'm still sipping on this beer.
You're like, I'm waiting for 11.
You got that much left. Look. Trying to get the last taste.
Hey man, we done went through some stuff, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't have to. You got to have a mentality, a mindset to pay your bills. We too old now. See, I remember when I first was 20, I didn't have no credit, nothing. Right. I went to college, and they said, just give us your Social Security number. We'll give you a credit card. And they'll have $1,000 limit. I said, for real? I gave it to them. I had one. I said, I was eating at the burger joint every day, not thinking about the payment.
Brian, we accepted the card with no intent to pay back.
That's pretty much. But you know what's messed up? They prey on these college students still. The vendors come up to them colleges and set their table up and and what makes it so bad? The credit card companies are approving them no matter what.
Wow.
Because they're under 25.
Gotcha.
They already messing their credit up because a lot of these kids that go to college ain't got no money. They broke.
Right.
So when they get a credit card, so what they do is this is what they do. They get that credit card, right? Then they come back in about 2 weeks and go for the other credit card vendor and give his. And they get the other one. So once they spend it on this one, you got to remember it's going to take about 3 months before the credit card actually gets deactivated from non-payment. So if you don't make that first $50, the second $50, the third $50, they're going to suspend the card first. So when you go to try to use it, you can't. When you call them because you're an idiot, hey, something wrong with your card.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. So, well, you didn't make any payments. You have to pay? Well, I got $500 credit. Yeah, I got $500 credit. Can you just take the payment out of that? How you gonna pay? How you gonna pay your bill with the credit card that you owe the bill to?
That you use it. Wow.
Dumb.
Wow. Young and dumb, boy. We was all
exactly.
There. We was all there at one point. Young and dumb.
So yeah, now we know the deal. Now I'm gonna tell you, if your credit is bad and you're over 50, fix your credit.
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Because pretty soon that's all you're gonna have and your Social Security.
Right.
So you better, okay, to give you an example, we're probably gonna end with this. Remember the American dream, right?
Okay.
It was you saw your parents, they both worked, or your mother stayed at home with the kids and the father worked. The father was guaranteed that he was going to be at his job for 30 years.
Got you.
Which was enough to pay off a mortgage.
Okay.
So that when you got your pension and retired, you didn't owe a house note.
You didn't have a house note, right?
Or a car note. Shit.
Right. Yeah.
So you got your pension, $2,000-$3,000 a month.
The American dream.
You got your house paid off, and you got your Social Security and any other supplemental income, right? Why now they don't have that? You don't longevity at a job, a year, maybe. You can't even get your foot in the door. And these millennials, dude, I've heard the horror stories from my clients. Like they will offer a millennial a job, and they won't even come in the next day because they took another job, but didn't have the courtesy to tell you that they didn't want to take your job.
The millennial.
Yeah, and here's the messed up part. And I remember this when I was 25, 30. A guy that worked with me, he was in IT, and he was an old cat. He's my age now. Old cat to me at 25, 30. But he was a good cat, you know. He did his job, everything. They got him out the door, shucked him on his pension. They fired him like 3 or 4 years before he was supposed to get it, even though he'd been there for quite some time. And he told me, he's like, I was surprised that I lasted this long because they don't want nobody old. Because old people know what the real deal is, and they're not going to take chances. You youngsters, when you run into old people that work at jobs where you got a young boss and you got an older guy that's doing the technical work,
right,
learn as much as you can from that old guy, because half the stuff that you're coming out of college to learn ain't in the workforce.
Right.
IT, you be learning about XP when we on Windows 10. Right. You be learning about Windows Server 2012 when this is 2021.
Right.
You know, you can't learn the old shit. You learn that on the job by the old school dude that's doing the old school stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to work at a job, take a trade, learn a skill, because you can go anywhere as a plumber, as an electrician, as an x-ray tech, as a respiratory therapist, as a DJ. Right. It's a skill that you have learned and acquired over the years.
Right.
I feel sorry for people still carrying crates of records. You can't do it. I mean, remember how we used to do it, Ricky? I need 4 people. I want 5 of y'all to help me. You can get in the club for free. I just lost $50 letting you in with your
crates.
Yeah, carrying crates because they and but here's the thing: you got to stay over by the DJ.
You gotta stay over there.
Remember when I used to run Paradise 24? I'd be like, if you're my promoter, you got to be there before 9. If you come in there flossing after 9, I am not going to be at the door.
Straight up. You're gonna be
so you ever wonder why you come to Paradise and there's 200 people in there already? Because all my promoters was from Santa Barbara to San Diego. I had so many people coming in. Rick was like, are you sure all these people passing out flyers? I said, you see this place packed every night?
Right.
Trying to talk smack. Plus, they buying sodas. 200 sodas, that's $1,000.
200 sodas. Right.
Well, I mean, you ain't gonna be at the club for no 5 hours and not buy a drink.
Right.
You know, it's college Mondays.
You bound to get a drink. Yes.
Yeah. You know, if you ain't gonna get a stiff one, you're gonna get a juice, a
gonna
Red Bull, something. So that's why I tell people 2 drink minimum, except if you ain't getting hard liquor, it's a 4 drink minimum. Gotcha. You're gonna drink 4 sodas a day.
You gonna drink.
You could go buy some over to, you could send one over to the sisters over there at that table. But you're gonna buy 4.
Buy 4.
Oh. So yeah, man, I'm glad I was able to answer your questions.
Yes, thank you.
And there's I'm sure you got a whole bunch more. And you know, if you got some next week, let me know. And we can bring you in on the first part, and then we can talk about the business part. Because actually, I wanted to talk to the business part about you, about the business part to you offline, because now is the time to start putting your paperwork in place so that you could qualify for SBA monies, pandemic monies, grants, all kinds of stuff. You know, right now we lost a lot of businesses across the nation, but a lot in California because we were shut down longer than anyone.
Okay.
We aren't really open yet until June 1st.
Right.
So this has been a 30-day test, and we got to see if those COVID numbers stay down or going back. I already know what's going to happen if they're going back up.
It's going to have to.
Back to the drawing board. So, you know, so that's why you have to create niches in this pandemic state that's actually going to help you. Like, for instance, I started doing Zoom funerals because people don't know how to work a Zoom, or their loved one just passed away and they don't have time for that.
They got time for that, master.
So I created a whole website and everything.
That's a good idea.
And I get 2 Zoom funerals a week.
That's a good idea.
You know, but the thing is, I bought all the equipment. I make sure the lighting is intact. I'm prepared to be outside, all kinds of stuff. So their experience, and I create them a YouTube channel so that after the Zoom is over, the people that didn't get to see it, they can go relive it forever.
Gotcha.
The thing is, there's a niche for every disaster. You just got to figure it out. Plexiglass companies made a ton of money off them partitions. You know, plastics, you know, made the same thing. You know, putting all the partitions in front of doctors' offices, restaurants got them in between tables.
Right.
I don't know how much plexiglass costs, but I'm sure the stock went up.
Gotcha. Of course it did. Of course it did.
So, yeah, man, it's like so many things that are going on right now that people aren't paying attention to, and they're worried about, minimum wage.
Right.
I can't do minimum wage, dude. I got to go find something that's going to make me more than minimum wage.
It's hard.
I mean, it's not hard.
No, it's hard to live
off. You got to create. Oh, it's hard to live off that. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I'm saying. It's hard to live off minimum wage.
Yeah, it's crazy. What up, Joe? You came in right when we about to be over. It's we've been on here almost 2 hours. Talking about credit and, you know, how to acquire it, and insurances on credit cards. When you don't have a job, you lose your job. You know, people don't know. But my man Joseph that just came up, popped him up. He's a financial wizard. I'm going through him to get all my insurances and stuff in place, you know, for my own health, you know, my own life insurance. I already got the business stuff set up. So it's just, in fact, I got $1 million worth of workers' comp insurance in case I get hurt. And then nobody can say they got $1 million worth of workers' comp insurance because they didn't go out and go get a business and pay for it for the business. See, businesses, you know what? This was an impromptu thing. I had created an event and I didn't even promote it. I just went live. But the next one I'm going to promote.
You know, that's good.
So we can bring more people. But, you know,
good.
I already told you I was going to start it. I just had to wait till I got all my equipment first. And you know, because I need my branding up there and whatnot. So
I like this.
And then and Rick got the DJ stuff in the back. With all you missing up there is Spandau Ballet. You got Culture Club. I see Stacy Lattisaw. My mother used to call her Stacy Lattimore. You got Old Subtraction up there. I see New Edition. We used to call them Old Subtraction.
I got a few more over there.
Oh, and who's that? Bobby? Oh, that's Elton John. I thought that was Bobby Caldwell.
Yeah. It's a few more over here.
Oh, Peebles.
There's your girl Pebbles.
Man, I remember when she came on Soul Train talking about Mercedes boy. I said, can I be that dude dancing up there instead of that weird dude? You know that guy that was dancing with her? He turned himself into a woman.
Damn.
And he don't look good. Like a Caitlyn.
Damn.
I mean, if you're going to be turning yourself to a woman, look good.
You better at least, hey, come on now. That's all I'm saying.
Don't be looking like Colonel Abrams. I'm not going to let. Oh, no, I'm not going to let.
Looking crazy. Looking crazy.
Thank you, sir. I try, man. I just try to give everybody what they need to survive, man. Shoot, just help yourself out by listening to some advice. A lot of people, they say they want to hear what I got to say, and then they don't do it. No, not you.
The way you laid it out, it made sense. If you don't take that information and do something with it, that's your problem.
The thing is, there are banks that are out there that are off the beaten path. Ally Bank. Some of these banks are easy to get accounts at. You don't even have to show up. You just go online and open a dang account.
Right.
But when people think, oh, bank account, they're going to be charging me all these fees and stuff. I don't know. You know, well, Navy Federal has a free checking. It's called Everyday Checking. Free.
Wow. Free.
Free. Free 90 free. That's the discount. Free.
Word.
The thing is, once you join Navy Federal and your credit score is decent, they're going to reach out to you. It looks like you've been banking with us for quite some time. Would you like to apply for one of our pre-approved credit cards?
Gotcha.
Sure, I would. It's pre-approved, right?
Sure.
It's pre-approved.
It's pre-approved, right?
Well, it's pre-approved. So, you know, you might as well apply because pre-approved means they're going to do a soft pull on the credit, not a hard pull. You won't get an inquiry until they actually give you the card.
Gotcha.
And then I go on these sites. It's not guaranteed that you're going to get the thing in pre-approval. I said, well, you know what? You can sit over there and be pretending like you know everything. Still asking, why are you on here commenting then? Stop being negative. You know, come on here to help people. Right. Share your experiences. Well, you know, I don't like Navy Federal because, you know, they made my credit go bad. And then when you hear the real story, it was his wife. And she added him onto her card and made his credit go bad when she used it.
Was some nonsense behind it.
It had nothing to do with the bank.
There was some nonsense behind the truth. Exactly.
Right. This dude is on dope. Stop it.
Nah.
Yeah, Navy Federal is the shizzle. For nizzle, my shizzle.
Gotcha.
I'm telling you, man. I'm enjoying good steak dinners because of Navy Federal. You know, that's like Larry Parker gave me $1.2 million over his lifetime. Do you know they got him doing commercials again? The dude that was in the wheelchair.
The same dude.
Dude, he was doing that when I was 14. That was 40 years ago.
We was young.
Right.
Larry Parker got me 1.5 million.
Yes. And if you do want to become a member and you don't have no way, I might be able to help you out with that. But I ain't just helping anybody. You might look funny and I don't trust your credit. Like if you look funny and your credit's bad, I can't trust you.
That's cool.
So yeah, we coming up on the 2-hour mark as we said we would do. And I just want y'all to know that I appreciate, you know, all one of y'all coming on the show. No, I'm just playing. All one of y'all.
He said one of y'all.
Yeah, all one of us. I just want to give some shout outs to DMX, Shock G, and Black Rob. Too many going at once. All the good ones that are spitting real knowledge. You know,
threes, man. They going threes. Ain't that crazy?
Y'all young rappers need to start getting some backbone and some stand up. Like stand up for something. Like that one dummy that put a $24 million diamond in his forehead, then he got affected and it could kill him if he don't take it out. Somebody gonna kill you anyway, knock you in the head and take that thing and sell it to a pawn shop for $50.
Thanks.
That's what they gonna do, $50. And that's it. Let's see. Over there. Yeah, man. I had to do it. It was just too tempting. I was going to take it off his head while he was alive, but they said he could die, so I just killed him first.
You talk about a foolish move.
Right. Stupid.
All right, go buy the jewelry and chains and floss the car. Don't be putting no diamond all up in your forehead. And
put it this way. I want everybody to assume I'm broke. I don't got nothing. I wear the same clothes almost every day.
All right.
Well, it's a pandemic. I don't got nowhere to go. That's the main reason why. But
ain't got nowhere to go.
Right. Like what's his name said in Officer and the Gentleman when Louis Gossett was telling Richard Gere, why don't you just quit? He said, I have no place to go. That's the most realest line I ever heard in a movie.
Straight up. I have no place to go.
I have no other place to go. He said, because you're not going to make it as an officer. He said, shit, I ain't got no place to go.
Answer. That's a real answer right there.
That's a real answer, but that's what everybody in the military says. I have no place to go. That's why I'm here. Shit. Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
Hey, man. I learned to enjoy staying home, man.
Yeah, we talked about the property earlier. And we're going to talk about business credit. Now, a lot of people don't know that you could buy a property and then transfer it over to your LLC to protect it. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know about mixed use properties where you could have apartments up top and live in one. And let me tell you something else about income property. Even if you had an apartment complex that had 10 units and 9 of them were empty, you can still say that you have this much income because they're not looking at how many people you got in there. They're looking at how many potential people supposed to be there and how much you charging their rent. So if you got 10 units, you're charging $2,000. That's $20,000 income you have coming in that you can give to your broker or whoever, and they will actually be able to help you. But you got to buy a property first. Start off like Joseph said with a duplex. Live in one, rent the other one out until you get to the point where you like that tenant and find another one just like him, and then you move out. Right. And find another place to buy. So you can do the same thing.
Keep that going.
Let me tell you something about Hispanic families that I grew up with that I've watched over the years. See, black people are different from Hispanic people. Hispanic people have 4 families in a 4-bedroom house. Yeah. They will buy each family a car, over time. Yeah. And then they'll buy another house and they'll move 2 families out of that house into the new house. And they'll move 2 more families back in. And now they got 8 families in 2 houses. And that's how they acquire generational wealth to keep buying stuff. And everybody got their little minimum wage job.
Right.
So, but if you look at it like, if all of us are making, say, $10 an hour, and there's 10 people bringing in income, that's $100 an hour.
Hey, that adds up, my brother.
And Hispanic people, they know how to stretch $1 for food.
Work that out, yeah.
Everything. So that's why you see them always having parties. Ain't no reason to spend money going out when you got a property. You can have a party right here. Have all the people come over here and let's enjoy. We're going to cook the food. We're going to party all night. We didn't spend number $50.
Yep. Just bought a little food and they're good.
Right. Yeah, I was talking about that. I'm telling you, Joe's talking cash flow coverage underwriting. Mm-hmm. That's exactly it. Well, we've reached our threshold. It's 2 hours.
It was nice, B. Appreciate you,
I appreciate you asking the questions because,
Peace to my man Joseph Williams out there, my brother. How you doing?
And Alton and Malik.
Yes.
Came on hollering. And Regan, I saw your message, and I will send you my number as soon as we finish with the show. Oh, and I will be posting the link to the opt-out site on my page right after this. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. You can follow me on Brian Bacchus Brands on Facebook and Instagram. This is basically where I'm broadcasting this from. It's actually, I'm not even quite sure if it's even on my personal page. I don't think I can put it there. But next time I'm going to advertise it to tell you to go to that page. I don't really do any of this stuff on my personal page.
Right.
Personal page is for jokes and all that. When I want to do something serious, I go to my Brian Bacchus Brands page, and that's where you all should go. So, or on my website that's floating around on the bottom. And Ricky, you can find him at Ricky Waters. And also he has Cash App too. So when you go watch his DJ show on Saturday nights, and it's really good, and it lasts for 4 hours, and it's one of the better ones because he's very international.
4 hours, 5 hours, brother.
Yeah. One of these days we're going to do a 24-hour marathon on that ass and see how well you do. You got to come have some DJs come fill in. You got to provide the break beats.
Oh my goodness. Bro, why don't you DJ? You've been fooling with this music, these parties, these clubs all your life. Why ain't there turntables sitting up in the house, man? What's the problem?
I got this. The rhythm composer, the baby 808.
That's a beautiful little device right there.
Yes, and I just got it, and I've been over here making Egyptian lover beats.
Create some magic with that little puppy right there, dog.
That's why I want you to come over here and hook up my sound. So right. Because, man, I'm about to have some fun. This is, so I got this through Guitar Center by applying for their credit card. I wasn't going to buy it unless I bought it with their credit card. Now, let me tell you something just real quick, real fast. Real fast. I went to look this up and saw that Guitar Center sold it, and I don't have a Guitar Center card, so I went and applied for a Guitar Center card, and they gave it to me, and I bought this that same moment. Right. Took them about a month because they were back ordered because of the pandemic and deliveries were slow. But I got it, and now I got Fruity Loops, the unlimited version, and I'm going to hook up this to that, and I'm going to make my own beats, and we're going to have these playing in the background when I start doing the shows later on down the line.
Brian, you need one of these. Oops, where'd it go? Hold on.
What, the Silhouette?
Hold on, let me. It's called a turntable.
Oh, I know.
It's called a turntable.
When I used to live at Vic's house, I used to always play with his turntables. DJ Sopranicon.
Kid Cut.
He used to get mad at me because I was getting better than him. He was like, "No, you can't touch my stuff."
He said I was getting better than him.
Yeah, he be on one, man. I was like, I treated him like my little brother. He treated me like a stranger. It's cool. I would introduce him to some fine women, right? I'd be surprised they liked him. I was like, oh well, maybe because they thought he was my little brother or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but
that was funny.
Leave Sopranicon alone.
Oh, he cool. I just, that's old school shit. So funny. I was just reminded the other day that I was a grandfather, and I don't have grandkids. I was told to shut up, Gramps. And I looked in the mirror and I said, damn, I do look like a Gramps.
Yeah.
I had to check on that reality real quick. But you know what? Doesn't matter what I look like to anybody younger than me. My friends love me. That's all I care about.
Come on now. Come on now. Just don't go on one of these lives one day and you done dyed it green or purple, dog. Then we good. You know what I'm saying? Just
see those funerals. Yeah, those funerals where they get up and they put the person in the chair and he like this. Like why? No, that's all. Why you got him sitting in the thing in a glass coffin standing up? What's wrong with you?
Standing up.
Well, they got some people in their who rides.
Dang.
Man, stop that. That body is decomposed, sitting there, draining in the spot it's sitting on. Stop it. Well, we appreciate y'all staying on. We went an extra 5 minutes just for y'all's pleasure. And we'll be back next week. Same time, man. Same time. I'm glad that Mondays is working out because we're supposed to be starting to bowl on Mondays, but now they moved it to Tuesday, so I'm good. And that's that. So, Rick, I'm out of here. Looks like you got froze up. So, I guess I got to end the show myself. So, signing off. Thank you for participating. Brian Bacchus Brands, you see it at the top corner. This has been a Fix Your Credit episode. And I'm glad you guys were able to join. I know it's as long as the debut one. But hey, gave you everything you could ask for. Next time, ask more questions, and I'll have more answers. Until then, peace out.